Hello, guys. Welcome to another session. So, if you see China's ambitious plan to construct the world's largest dam near India's northeastern border has raised significant geopolitical and environmental and strategic concerns. With a projected cost of around 137 billion, this project will not only be the largest of its kind, but also a potential flashpoint in the already tense relation between India and China. So the dam, which is planned on the Brahmaputra River, also known as Yarlung Sangpo in China, it has far-reaching implications for India, Bangladesh, and the broader South Asian region also. Let's talk about the geographical context, right? So the Brahmaputra originates in Tibet, flows through China, and enters India via Arunachal Pradesh. And finally, it goes through Bangladesh before merging with the Bay of Bengal. So it is a vital lifeline for millions across these countries and providing water for agriculture, drinking, and hydropower generation. So the China's dam, which is located just 30 kilometers from India's border, give it the power to control the flow of this river, directly affecting downstream nations, right? So the potential for misuse of this control have made India and Bangladesh particularly wary. So if you see concerns of India, water storage and diversion is one of the primary concerns. China could potentially divert large volumes of water from Brahmaputra to its mainland that will disrupt the natural flow downstream. So this would significantly impact water availability in India's northeastern states and Bangladesh. And the river's flow that could become unpredictable that will affect agriculture ecosystems and the livelihoods. Again, there are flood risk, right? By storing excessive water and suddenly releasing it intentionally or due to natural calamities, China could trigger massive flooding in India's northeastern states like Arunachal Pradesh and Assam. And such floods could devastate local populations and infrastructure. Geopolitical leverage. Without a formal water sharing treaty between India and China, the construction of this dam could become a tool for geopolitical leverage. Unlike the Indus Water Treaty between India and Pakistan, there is no binding agreement which is governing the Brahmaputra. Now, what is Bangladesh perspective? See, for Bangladesh, the Brahmaputra is a very crucial source of fresh water. Any diversion or reduction in flow upstream could exacerbate water scarcity issues, particularly during the dry season. And this could also lead to increased salinity in coastal areas, which is threatening the agriculture and the drinking water supplies. Now, what is India's proposed response here? India basically planned to construct its own mega dam in Arunachal Pradesh as a countermeasure, dubbed as India's last line of defense against China's water strategy. This dam will be second largest in the country after the Bhakra Dam. What is the objective of India's dam? Mainly flood mitigation. It will act as a buffer against sudden release of water from China's dam. Then hydropower generation that provides renewable energy to meet the regional demands. And then there is a strategic balance. It asserts control over the downstream flow of the Brahmaputra. What the estimated cost? India's dam was expected to cost around 50 billion. That's a significant but necessary investment in order to safeguard its interest. What are the challenges and risks here? See, the seismic activity, the Himalayan region include Tibet and Arunachal Pradesh is highly prone to earthquake. So large dams in such areas pose significant risk. So a major earthquake that could damage these structures, which can cause catastrophic floods also. Then environmental impact. Both India and China projects, could disrupt the reverse ecosystem. So that will affect the biodiversity and the local communities. Fish population, aquatic habitats, and surrounding forests may face irreversible damage in this case. Economic burden is another issue. The massive cost which is associated with building these dams that place an additional financial strain on India's budget. And this comes at a time when resources are also needed for other strategic and developmental priorities. Now, the role of international dynamics. See, the US and other global powers have limited direct involvement in this issue. China's aggressive infrastructure expansion in South Asia is drawing global attention. By building such mega projects without consulting downstream countries, China risks being viewed as a destabilizing force in the region. Now, the role of natural forces, if you see, nature itself become a major player in this high-stakes scenario. The region is earthquake-prone area, and high-magnitude earthquake could lead to cracks or collapse of dam that will cause widespread devastation. Climate change could exacerbate unpredictably in rainfall patterns. Further that will complicate the water management. Now, if you look at India's broader strategic approach, we're trying for defense modernization, diplomatic pressure, and then strengthening domestic infrastructure, etc. So India could seek multilateral discussions on transboundary rivers, under the framework of international law, to ensure fair water sharing practices. Again, strengthening ties with Bangladesh on water sharing issues that could bolster regional solidarity. So again, if you consider this China's actions, India is also investing heavily in modernizing its defense capabilities, including the acquisition of fifth generation fighter jets to maintain regional security balance. Again, building more resilient infrastructure, right? That will improve flood management systems and enhancing early warning mechanisms that will be key to mitigating the impact of sudden water releases from upstream. So, China's decision to construct the world's largest dam near India's border is not just an engineering hurdle, but a geopolitical maneuver with profound implications. India's counter dam that are planned is a step towards safeguarding its interests, but the situation underscores the urgent need for transboundary water treaties and greater regional cooperation. So the stakes are high, and if handled poorly, this issue could escalate tension between two nuclear armed neighbors. Conversely, with foresights and diplomacy, it could serve as a catalyst for long overdue regional agreements on shared natural resources also. So, guys, that's about this session. Thank you so much for attending. See you in the next video.